Hello. Malon Betun. Dicala ucwango bakwethu. Okay. Welcome to the airport hangars. The purpose of this session is to receive these beautiful babies from the DBSA. We have colleagues from the DBSA, leadership from local municipality. We've got the MEC, the Premeir, and colleagues from other departments. We are also welcoming people that are watching through our social media platforms. And we are not going to be long here. The process has started with the tour where DBSA was taking leadership through these I normally call them iPods. This is a problem with Apple people. They are isolation pods, which we are going to use for COVID-19. So I'm going to request Mayor was a KSD to briefly make few remarks, and then we'll continue with the program. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Let me take this time and acknowledge Premeir, the MECs for health and human settlements, the leadership ekhoyo, Westry and Mbonile ekhoyo up. Okwamje is just to Premeir to welcome you and your entourage in this exciting moment. It's an exciting moment because we know, yes, the numbers have gone down presently, but science is still telling us that there could be second phase, so we have to be ready for that. So indeed, it's exciting when we see that through your leadership, we are ready for the second wave. In KSD presently, we've just got a report that only 6 from just yesterday, only 6 who have been positively confirmed. So that's an exciting news after a storm which was with us. In those very few words, Premeir, it's just an excitement. Thanks a lot. Welcome.
Nkosi May. Ndicela simqhobeleni izandla May. Thank you. Mhlambi noba izandla zisabanda kuba kusekuseni. We are now going to request Uboni Duda from the DBSA to make few remarks about the entire project. Why are they coming to the Eastern Cape, besides the fact that Eastern Cape is the best province? We'll hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Before I commence, I'd like to first humbly apologize on behalf of our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Patrick Dlamini, and Mr. Chone Zarampele, who's our Group Executive, who could not make it today because of logistical challenges. Before I start reading their message, I would just like to give a quick introduction of what is it to everyone that we are bringing here today. This is called a safe air filtration system, which its single size is about 2.5, maybe let me remove the mask for me to hear me clearly. The size of a singular filtration system here is about 2.5 by 2.5 and 2.3 high. It then houses one patient at a time. It is made up of aluminum frames, which have a particular whiteboard at the back where you can be able to then attach any other apparatus that you would need, which is relevant at that point in time. It further then has a vinyl tiling at the bottom so that if there's any spillages, they can be easily cleaned. It also has electrical power points that it has, including LED lights with your light switch. It has a very peculiar suction system that it has. Very important that what happens is any particles that are roaming around the pod itself while it is enclosed, they are sucked into a filtration system that is at the bottom, which has a UV Blu-ray system that has a capability of further killing the virus itself down there at the bottom where it filtrates, where the filtration system is. What is also wonderful about this is the fact that I would say post-COVID, you can relocate these systems. They can be reusable. You can have your small coffee rooms within it, small tables, and also it's got a multi-purpose. So post-COVID, MEC, there is other usages that you can identify that you can be able to use these isolation pods for. Okay, I think now let me go to the message from our executives who could not make it today. To the Premier, Honorable Mabuyane, the Mayor of Tambo District Municipality, Councillor Sokanyile, the MEC of Health, Mamukomba, the Head of the Department of Health, Dr. Mbengasha, ladies and gentlemen, the outbreak of the COVID-19 has put a strain on government and healthcare systems across the globe. The government of South Africa at all levels has done tremendous work in combating the spread of COVID-19 within the country. We join in solidarity to government and all public and private institutions, as well as individuals that are contributing towards building capacity in our health ecosystem and the economy itself. The Development Bank of Southern Africa has committed 150 million to support the government of South Africa and the SADC region in its entirety in a form of your PPEs, isolation pods, which we are looking at today, screening and testing units which have already been distributed to some of your local municipalities. We've got prefabricated structures that we've distributed to 4 districts already, be it OR Tambo, Alfred Nzo, Amatole District, and Krisani in Ekomani. These we call screening units, where people have the opportunity to come and be screened in terms of any possible symptoms that they may have. That comes with your PPEs, but we are yet to have a formal handover of those. We've delivered the screening unit so far, but we are yet to have formal handovers. We also have ventilators that we are going to be donating. Now, the handing over of the isolation pods today marks a demonstration of the commitment that DBSA has made in the past month to support our government in the fight against this COVID pandemic. The isolation pods resemble a relocatable hospital room, as I have mentioned before, measuring the 2.5 by 2.5 at a height of 2.3 high. Each pod is fully equipped with a hospital bed, linen, and the necessary personal protective equipment, along with a clean air filtration system and a lockable door. The airflow system pulls the infected air particles through a negative air pressure system, which then flows to an air extraction system that kills any bacteria. Each unit has a vinyl flooring with glass wall sections to allow for patient observations by medical staff. The interior is well lit and furnished with a counter unit with lockable storage and fitted with electrical connections for medical equipment. We are then grateful to the province for having accepted our support pledge, which is a meaningful contribution in saving the lives of the communities of the Eastern Cape. We remain committed as the DBSA to building Africa's prosperity. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Bonnie. I'm not sure where did you leave Clive. Is Bonnie and Clyde or Clive? Okay. Can I please request MEC Gomba to make your remarks, as this will be used by the Department of Health. Mrs. Masindi, if you can please. Okay.
Thank you, Program Director. Good morning, Premier. Good morning, MSC Peters. Good morning, the Mayor of OR Tambo today, in the absence of the Executive Mayor. Morning, our officials as led by the SG, and morning, everybody. In particular, our honored guests today with a very good gesture, DBSA team. I would want not to miss much because the speaker of the day is the Premier. However, as the Department of Health, we are, of course, overwhelmed, precisely because we asked only 2 days ago as to the readiness of the Eastern Cape for the coming surge, should it arrive. And exactly in that we said, as the Eastern Cape, we're not dropping our guards. This is one symbol, therefore, though necessitated by patriotism of DPSA to actually come to the role and play their part. We are therefore wanting to actually, Premier, before you say thank you, echo the words that you'll be sharing in appreciating this gesture. However, as the department, we are appreciating these ports, but are looking at 4 districts for distribution. And those districts will be Alfrenzo, will be Krisani, will be Amatole, and will be Buffalo City. So looking at that, the number that we have actually at the end is 110, and we're going to distribute in those areas. So my view, Premier, as you ascend to the podium, I want to say your efforts are always recognized. The efforts of the people of the Eastern Cape are always recognized. We still impressed that our people must observe the regulations so that the surge itself does not kill us. Let us maintain the momentum. Let us make it a point that as the Eastern Cape, we prove that the Eastern Cape has ability to really deal with COVID, and we'll get over it. And beyond COVID, we'll still be alive. Thank you very much.
Ngosi MEC, we also have MEC of Human Settlements, MEC Peters. I'm sure you're thinking about something similar for emergency houses. Okay, we're going to ask Premier Mabuyane to come to the microphone and speak, and then we'll take it from there. Premier.
Ningobani sisanda nibona nje. Good morning to everyone. Thank you very much, Program Director. Mr. Stwesha, special greetings goes to both MECs that are here, MEC Gomba, MEC for Health, and MEC Peters, MEC for Human Settlement. And we have been crisscrossing this province for the last couple of days, trying to get into our people and having our people, their lives changing. To the Executive Mayor of King Sabata Dalindyebo, the HOD for Health and the entire team from Health, the DBSA representatives, Mr. Duda and his team, members of the media, good morning to all of you. Upfront, we wish to welcome the investment that DBSA made to provide us with 110 isolation pods to our province. These pods will augment our effort to fight this COVID-19 and save more lives and prevent the spread, particularly in our healthcare facilities. Some of them will be stationed here, of course, as we have indicated that they will be using this airport hangar as part of our field hospital sites. And we have said that we needed to relook at our strategy that we had of development of number of field hospitals across our districts. Upfront, we have said we want to invest in the current existing infrastructure, healthcare facilities, to have legacy that will actually remain with us for many years to come. And when people think about COVID-19, they must not think about all the bad of it. They must think about also the positives that the COVID-19 has brought along for us to be able to address some of these issues in response to a disaster. On Tuesday, we visited a number of healthcare infrastructure refurbishment projects that are part of the 594 million investment we made at the start of this pandemic to guarantee us over two that would guarantee another 2,458 COVID-19 beds in our province. In those beds, more than 250 beds are earmarked for the Ower Tambo District Municipality. What is even more satisfying about this donation is the fact that these isolation pods are manufactured locally in our country, which means jobs were created locally when they were manufactured. This donation ties perfectly with the commitment we outlined in our COVID-19 strategy when we said we are going to invest in sustainable solutions to build healthcare capacity that would benefit our people beyond this pandemic. Yabona ke sithi xa sithi silungisa izinto zethu including nee-mortuaries kuthiwa hayi sakha ii-mortuaries simply because there are high number of fatalities. It's a really distortion of highest order, worse when it is done by a journalist that was not even part of the meeting. And the journalist doesn't even ask clarity if he doesn't understand, he simply writes. So it's part of the problems that we have that we need to continue dealing with. This donation comes at a time when new infections are subsiding and recoveries are increasing, meaning we are close to winning this war. As we have said before, this is not a time to let our guard down. There is no vaccine yet for the virus. Therefore, we remain vigilant as the virus is still potent and deadly. The positive improvement we see in the epidemiological data and recoveries and on the decline in the new infection is urging us on to reinforce our health capacity to prepare for whatever challenge this virus might throw at us in the next few months. The partnership and the collaborative effort with the various stakeholders during this pandemic have contributed immensely to the positive trends we see in our epidemiological data, and more importantly, to saving lives. It pains me to say that it took a pandemic to unearth practical solidarity and collaboration between government, business, labor, and civil society in our country. I'm asking myself whether, has all the positive energy of collaboration been there in the past 25 years, which could have used to improve the living conditions of millions of our people who live in poverty and who are currently unemployed. For the past 25 years, we have all talked about social compact between various stakeholders that only existed on paper or in our imagination, but that did not really have a positive impact on the lives of our people on the ground. The consequences of that all talk but no action are glaring in the form of poverty, unemployment, and inequalities in our society that affect mostly the youth and women in particular. During this pandemic, all stakeholders are contributing and making practical sacrifices that are commendable. We almost had 25 years where we could have used partnerships, practical and massive, to address social, economic development challenges in our country and in the province. All of us are to blame for not nurturing such partnerships. The phenomenal work we have collectively achieved through partnership during this pandemic should be first step of forming practical social compacts that benefit society and not paper-based social compact that are serving the interests of individual stakeholders. As we continue to resource our healthcare facilities through our own investment and donation from private partners to fight this pandemic, we want to remind our people that they hold the cards on whether we get a second wave of infections or not. Their best behavior during this level 2, where restrictions of traveling, alcohol, and tobacco sales have been eased, is crucial to avert a wave of new infections. They must police each other's behavior in their homes and communities so that we do not get a new wave of infections that would force government to implement hard lockdown again. The fact that alcohol is permissible does not mean you should drink it. The fact that tobacco is also permissible does not mean you should smoke. The fact that traveling and visiting to families and friends is allowed does not mean you should travel. Each person must make the right choice to save his or her life and the lives of their loved ones. It is in your hands. Once more, we wish to thank the Development Bank of Southern Africa for giving our efforts a shot in the arm by availing these 110 ports. We are looking forward to working in more initiatives with DBSA, particularly on growing our economy and create jobs. I know DBSA already has been assigned by COGTA to work with us on our district development model this side. We're looking forward to that. This is a district that has got the highest population in our province. This is a district that has got high numbers of unemployment, young people, poverty, inequalities. So that time has arrived for all of us to really roll up our sleeves and make sure that we are changing our people's lives. Thank you very much, Program Director.
Nkosi kakhulu, Premier. We've now come to the end. I think abantu abasafuna ubona i-reports can do that while we are doing media interviews. I'm going to ask MEC wakwa Human Settlements to do a vote of thanks and maybe touch on the ideas that she was getting for emergency houses. Manyaus, thank you.
Good morning, Premier, MEC Gomba, Executive Mayor of KSD, SG, and all the officials that are here, DBSA. As the Eastern Cape government, we thank you, DBSA, for coming to the party and make sure that you assist us in curbing the virus, the spread of the virus. As you know that the curve is down, but that doesn't mean that people will not be infected. And if we do not use this, I'm looking at them, I'm saying, okay, if one person ebehlala in an informal shelter, executive mayor and Yiche, at least we can provide, even if it's for a day or 2 days, this. And I was talking to the gentleman from DBSA that Umvus is giving us ideas that we should think out of the box and see what is it that we can do to make temporary shelters for an emergency cases using the material that we have used. But we need to think about that and see whether that will be even possible for a house, even if it's for a month or so. With those words, we thank you, and we know that we can't do this on our own as government. We need private sector and everybody else, all the stakeholders are important. So thank you very much, DPSA, and you know that you are going to do more. This is just the beginning. Thank you.